of the book, Restoring the Republic, who's been warning of the unhealthy relationships between businesses, big government, and radical environmentalists. Thanks for joining us, Representative. This interview came on the heels of an interview you saw me do where there was a discussion between, I was trying to tie GE, Jeffrey Immelt, to the Obama administration and said there's only one reason the board of directors at GE would allow Jeff Immelt to be working with the Obama administration is because there was something in it for them. There was some business, I don't know, a future for them in garnering more business. What do you think of that?
I think you're spot on. Number one, I'm not sure why big-time corporate CEOs for any of these companies would have the time or even would be qualified to sit on this economic advisory panel. Seems like this is more of a job for someone like a Paul Volcker, someone that's retired, maybe a chairman emeritus, someone like that, not someone who is actively engaged. I don't know Mr. Immelt. I'm sure he's a good guy. No one wants to see GE go under.
Let's do this, Representative. I apologize. Okay. You may or may not have returned. Let's do the picture, guys, where Mr. Obama is at the Orion Energy Systems plant. Listen, I'm trying to be nice about this, but honestly, this cronyism just stinks. Can you show me that picture? There he is. There's President Obama right there, and there's the CEO of Orion Energy System. And that right there, my friends, that right there is the reason, in my opinion, solely my opinion, that raises the reason for the relationship. GE supplies a lot of the parts, one of the biggest customers of Orion, and also the biggest investor in Orion. This kind of stinks.
Let me tell you this, Eric, what this is really about. This is not widely known, but President Obama, during the last campaign when he ran for president, beat up Wall Street, labeled the Republicans as the party of Wall Street, blah, blah, blah. The truth is that President Obama received more money from Wall Street than even John McCain did. Then what happened in this last election is Obama's socialist utopian policies went so far left that even the big corporate CEOs that normally don't really care who's in office because they give money to both parties and they play both sides and their big thing is about access. But what happened is even the big corporation says, hey, this has to stop. And so what this is about President Obama reaching out to the corporate world, big-time Wall Street companies, saying, look, I'm okay. In other words, don't worry about it. We're going to cut your corporate tax rates. I'm throwing this dog a bone out here, and I'm going to put this Jeffrey Immelt, CEO, on my economic advisory panel. It's all nonsense.
He does a photo op. He makes a stop at Orion Energy Systems. It only took me 5 minutes. It was like 2 Google searches, and I connected the dots between Orion, GE, and Obama. How come no one else has done that? I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, what's the next stop? Is it going to be another GE customer?
If you look at GE, and this is not picking on GE, okay? But who are their biggest customers? Where do they get their revenue from? Number one, they get it from GE Capital, which is essentially loaning money to folks that quite frankly, caused this big bubble to burst on not only just the credit card side, the credit crunch, but everywhere else in the housing and across the country. Then you look at, if you really start to break it down, how much do they sell to the Department of Defense? Then how much do they sell, and you're on the right track with this new green energy nonsense that is being made possible by government rules and regulations. Now, the Republican Congress is not going to be passing more rules and regulations, but you're already seeing the Obama administration, through the Environmental Protection Agency, begin to do things on their own. You can't tell me that the things that they're doing to promote green energy is not going to benefit GE and their subsidiaries.
Well, it seems like it is. It seems like this whole green agenda fits in with the left, and all of a sudden, you pointed it out. How much money? We did the research, $499,000 GE employees and or PAC put towards the Barack Obama campaign in 2008. Very, very, very small amount, somewhere between 40 and 100,000 to Mr. McCain. And then when you take the last election cycle, the midterm elections, more than double went to Democratic congresspeople and senators versus Republicans. I mean, they're clearly moving their money to the left.
And it's not only that. It's not just GE. It is across the spectrum. This whole notion that Wall Street, that the Republicans are the party of Wall Street, no. Wall Street doesn't care because they're big business. And whenever you have a big government politicians like Barack Obama, and you have the radical left, including all these folks that are pushing extreme environmentalism, it creates for a dangerous concoction. Let me tell you, we are not going to get out of this recession that we are in by just with big business and big government alone. It's really about small businesses and small businesses who create jobs. And that is how we're going to get out of this recession. And this is only about President Obama winning a re-election, trying to buy off corporate America again.
Very good. Representative Devin Nunes from California. Appreciate your time, sir.
Always, Eric. Thank you.
All right, we're going to throw it out to the panel. Andrew, what about